Discovery. All right, so the other day I came to the conclusion that it's time for me to start cleaning out my non-essential inventory because I already have way too much shit stacked. So I've decided that Jesus Christ, all of my fucking cams I have, all my base model cams that I'll probably never ever use, they're gonna start getting thrown out because they're just taking up space. I don't know. I might fucking keep them. Goddamn it! Once I break them down into pieces, I might throw them all into a big old tub. That's probably what I'm gonna do. I just came up with that decision right now. God. But I am going to start breaking off all the pulse plates and whatnot, and cam gears, even the base model ones, just because of the fact that one, it makes things easier to store, and two, you never know when you're going to use those, and those are the only important pieces on the stock cams. So there's that. But what I really want to talk about was this new Vtec killer modification. Right now, we all know, if you've done any digging around for Vtec killer, that they do sell pins to lock these. They're custom made pins to lock these in place. So that way you can still use the stock rocker arms without that, without doing anything, or with just use lock pins. I do believe those lock pins are like $80 though. I think so. But anyway, so the customary way to do this is to use the exhaust rockers, and then to modify them here so that way the cam can pass through properly. You can see right here, I guess, maybe, I don't know how well you can see. Okay, but if you look right there, you see how the Vtec lobe touches the rocker arm. So that's why you have to grind a little bit to get that out of the way, so it'll pass. And that takes a decent amount of time to grind, but I think grinding those is just definitely better than spending money on buying lock pins, right? And then, unless you can find this style, they're dirty. Don't mind that. They're going to clean them up. This style, which of course it doesn't have any problem with clearance. Like, if you can find these drop in without modification. Now I found some. The last ones I found, and I've only ever found 3 of those when I'm hunting for them. The last set of those I had, I kept. I'm not selling those because I'm lazy and I don't want to cut if I don't have to. So I figure if I have one set of those, that's at least one set I don't have to cut for myself when I'm making a Vtec killer setup for me, which I'm going to do for that engine over there. And this is the last major thing I need to do besides timing. And I was like, well, let's see if I can do some shit. So I did throw out a whole set of these the other day because I'm like, I'm not going to keep them anymore. They're just laying around all over the place. I'm just going to throw them out. But I was like, let me try one more time to see if I can lock these things. And so I was trying some shit here and there, and it was just not working out. But eventually I came across the combination, and voila. And that is without modifying anything. This is using the stock components. I guess I kind of fucked up. I didn't leave one of them open for you to see how exactly I did it. But yeah. So I have locked the Vtec cam side, or the intake cams or rocker arms from the stock base model to now be able to use Vtec killer. You see some little separation there, but that's because these things are wanting to push apart because it's not mounted to the head. So, all right, let me just show you this real quick before I slide the thing off. So I took a cam and I placed it in there because I wanted to see exactly what this was going to look like when it rotates, right? Again, and one of the greatest things about this is not only does it all use stock parts, but you don't have to cut anything because there's no ridges on these because these are made for Vtec, So they automatically clear. You just drop them in place. But here's the thing. You see the lobe for the cam? See where it rides? It doesn't have a full, complete contact like this one does, right? See, this one has a full on patch. This only has partial. But I really don't think that's going to be much of an issue. It's it's like almost Jesus Christ, almost full on contact here with the lobe, and there's like I wouldn't even say a quarter of it that's not being touching. But it is what it is. I guess that's the only thing of note. But I don't see why that should cause any unusual wear or whatnot. So I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna run it like this. And again, they do sell lock pin kits so where you could run it like this. But that's just, you know, to be fair, I wanted to point out that it can be done with these, and not only that it can be done, but it can be done. But that's the only thing that's kind of like weird. If you use the, if you do use the exhaust one, it is a full-on ride in the middle. But then again, at the same time too, like if you look at the exhaust roller, it's not very wide. So if you look at that patch versus the patch that you're looking at on the actual Vtec side, you actually have more metal that's contacting on the Vtec side than you do with the exhaust rocker. And even though it's not centered like it is with this one, you're still having more contact overall with the lobe. So yeah, I think that was the only thing I was hesitating on, and I think I just figured that out right now while I'm telling you guys. I don't think it's going to be an issue at all. I don't know if I'm going to start, you know, mass producing this way. I think I'm probably gonna continue on selling the exhaust rockers like I normally do. Like I haven't been selling them for a while, mainly because I've been too lazy. You know, I sell them for $60 a set unmodified on eBay, and they usually sell at least once a month. But my reserves are starting to run low, and I knew that I was going to be doing some Vtec killer heads, so I figured I'd start keeping them to sell as a more complete thing instead of trying to make $60 here or there off of them. Because of course, you know, the $60 doesn't count for the time to go to the post office and the shipping itself. So I still make a very decent profit off of them. But at the end of the day, you know, it's just like I said, I'd rather mod them and use them on the head to sell a Vtec killer head than to sell them as individuals. But now that I have these, I have fuck tons of these rockers, and they're really easy to come together. It makes the job a lot easier. I might just start selling the Vtec killer heads like that instead, and just selling the exhaust rockers. I don't know, but I guess that's one of the benefits when you guys are following me directly and seeing what I'm doing, or, you know, versus me just selling them off on the side. All right, so real quick, I'm going to show you the 2 ways you can do this to make this work. And I'm trying to do this with one fucking hand. Hold on a second, guys. All right, so how I locked this in place was pretty simple. If you've taken apart these base model heads, you know that you have that long spring or that long bar coupled with a short cap and a long spring, right? So now it does work 2 different ways, but I like this one better because it's just more solid. You take the long bar and put it on the side that the spring and cap is supposed to go, right? So you see you have it sticking out a little bit. And you take the long side and you put the spring in there. See? And then once you put these together, it holds it in place. Ta-da. Super simple. Now, like I said, the other way to do this would be instead of using the long bar, you can use 2 of the small caps stacked up on each other, and they also stick out enough to where you could put them like that. And yeah, it's a really simple way to do it, and it 100% works. So yeah, another way to do Vtec killer. And now I'm gonna finish putting this shit on my head so that way I can be done. As far as Vtec killers, guys, if you want to come for a head from me, I've only got 1 stock set of Vtec real Vtec cams, 1 left in stock. So once that set is gone, then the price is gonna go up on Vtec killer heads if you want a complete one, because I was getting the cams at a relatively cheap price under market value, and now I'm gonna have to go back to buying them at market value. So of course the price is gonna have to go up to match the extra expenditures. And also, I don't think I'm gonna be going out of my way to look for cams, guys. I happened to get them from a friend who had a big stash, and I was slowly buying a stash from him. So I don't know. Like I said, if you want a complete Vtec killer head and you want to get one from me, you know, rebuilt, the new valve seals, all that shit, I would, you know, hop on that now before I, you know, lose my last set of cams, and then you're gonna have to go searching for your own cams or whatnot. And when my head comes complete, it also comes complete with the RVC cam gear as well. So So I had to add a little bit to the video because when I went to go put the rocker assembly on the head, I ran into an issue. So this is still a relevant upload because it still does solve part of a problem. If you're going to modify your head for Vtec Killer, you already have your one set of exhaust rockers, obviously, and you have the intake rockers on as well. It still can be used. So you see that there's no problem using them on this side. The problem is over here. I'm putting effort into it, guys, and it's not moving. So I'm like, what the fuck is the reason why they wouldn't move? I don't understand why they wouldn't. They're both the exact same measurement, so why would they be different on one side but not on the other? And then I finally saw it. I'm poking around. You see, I don't know how well you can see with the lighting, but it's making contact with the spark plug tube. And you see how we have a gap on here? And then when you go and look on the exhaust rockers, you see that they are notched to clear the tube. So you can pin lock your head if you've got it, if you've already got a complete head, and you can pin lock, and then you just modify your exhaust rockers to come, just notch your rockers so that way they pass. But anyway, I'm still gonna offer to sell exhaust rockers, and at least now you don't necessarily need 2 sets of exhaust rockers, and now you have a very quick and easy way to pin lock one side of your head, so that way it not only saves you money on buying stuff, and you can do it with all the stock shit that comes with the head, but it'll also save you time on notching, so you only have to notch 4. All right, guys, so yeah, see, just a really quick little addition, but the thing has been solved now, and now I guess I'll just change my cover picture on here so that way you can see. All right, and again, peace. Thanks for watching. Social media links in the description down below. I did that backwards. All right, guys. Thanks.